and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host this morning, Logan Landers, and I'm going to be previewing the upcoming NFL playoff matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. Another chapter will be written in this historic rivalry throughout the many years these two teams have played each other. And I can't wait to give you a breakdown and who I think will come away with the win this upcoming weekend. But before I get started, if you enjoy this video, this podcast here today, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Leave a review as well. We go live each and every week on Facebook, on YouTube. Also, we have an amazing Instagram account, and of course, many and plenty of podcast lists too, thanks to the Believe Podcast Network. On any major podcast streaming platform like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and also any smaller ones. Also, we've seen ones from Overcast and even some I've never even heard of before. Google Podcasts as well. So please go over there, leave us a review, and let us know what you think. There's plenty of content, amazing interviews, game previews, recruiting specials, draft prospects, history specials, really anything and everything football related that I can think of. It is over there. And with over 600 episodes now, there's got to be something that is in your wheelhouse for you to love and for you to enjoy over at 100 Yards of Football on any major streaming platform. All right, let's get into this matchup, the 49ers and the Cowboys. The Cowboys finished off the regular season with a 12-5 record first in the NFC East. As for the San Francisco 49ers, they finished third in the NFC West, but with a 10-7 record. Not too bad at all. Let's look at the 49ers here, seen as the prevailing as the underdog, seems a lot of people will say. Led by Jimmy Garoppolo, threw for a little bit under than 4,000 yards this season, but he did play in 15 games with a 68% completion percentage, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and he was sacked 29 times. Now he does have a small thumb injury that could play a part in this game here this upcoming weekend. We'll see how much it affects him. If not, then you have the young rookie they drafted out of North Dakota State with Trey Lance waiting in the wings to maybe get a few snaps in this ball game. We'll have to see how it plays out. But they really excel in the rushing game. They like to break teams down. That's why they ran for over 2,000 yards as a team this season. Elijah Mitchell played in 11 games, ran for close to 1,000 yards, finished off with 963. If he would have played a little bit more, you would have known he would have eclipsed that 1,000-yard marker. Deebo Samuel as well, the wide receiver, second on team in rushing with 365 yards. So they both have a good rushing attack. Samuel has 8 touchdowns rushing on the year, so it is a little bit kind of weird to see, right? A wide receiver primarily has the most rushing touchdowns on the team because Mitchell only has 5. The next running back is Jeff Wilson, who only has 2, and he only ran for a little bit under 300 yards this season, only 9 games played. But what they do is they break you down, right? They run the ball quite a lot. They ran for almost 500 times this season. And then they have Jimmy Garoppolo with those short passes, right? The slants, the curls, the screens, and they just try to eat you alive, chew up as much clock as they can, and just march their way down the field. Of course, I mentioned the receiving core with Deebo Samuel. He had a great year as a receiver, 77 catches, 1,405 yards, 6 touchdowns as a receiver as well. And, of course, probably one of the top tight ends in the game, George Kittle, 71 catches for 910 yards and 6 touchdowns for him as well. Also, the third man, Brandon Ayuk, he had 56 catches on the year for 826 yards. So looking good there. They have a great offensive line, of course, led by Trent Williams, the veteran, the one that everyone says is probably one of the top offensive tackles in the game. So we'll see how him as well as the rest of the offensive line has to do to combat the Cowboys' rushing attack. And over on the defense for the 49ers, we have Fred Warner, of course, led the team with 137 tackles this season. Nick Bosa, what a scary man, 15 and a half sacks on the year for him. He's already a superstar, and he's just going to keep making some big moves throughout the rest of his career. You can guarantee that. Azeez Al-Shaair has 102 tackles as well, the other linebacker. But also we got to watch out for what the secondaries can do, right? What can the cornerbacks, what can the safety do? Manuel Mosley, 11 passes defended on the year. Very good there. Jimmy Ward, the other cornerback, 6. Josh Norman, the wily veteran, with 5. And also Azeez Al-Shaair with 5 as well. Interceptions as a team, they had a total of only 9 this season, so they're not ball hawks per se, right? But they will get some passes defended. They had 55 of those this year. but they are pretty solid when it comes to a secondary. Their linebackers are nice, and they're just a pretty solid team all around. There's a reason they got into the playoffs, obviously, but with a good rushing attack, with the amount of sacks they've got, like I said, with Bosa with 15 and a half, Arden Key with 6.5 right behind him, and then Eric Armstead with 6. You have a pretty good core right there trying to get to the quarterback. Now, in the big games, in the playoff games, right, I always like to look at the kicking game and see how these can match up, because kicking in special teams is very important when it comes to playoff games. A missed extra point or a missed field goal can make or break a team in these close situations. So Robbie Gould, in 13 games played, he was 20 of 23. That's good for 87%. His longest was 52. He's perfect from inside the 20 to 29, perfect from inside the 30 to 39, 7 of 9 from the 40 to 49 range, and he was 3 of 4 from 50-yard plus. As for extra points, he was 39 of 40, so almost perfect there. So I think that overall, Robbie Gould's a veteran. He's been around the league for a long time. I think he won't have any problem in this upcoming game. But you never know. Knock on wood, I don't want to have that announcer's curse. So we'll see what they can do. A good team. Jimmy Garoppolo's been around the league for a while now. He's not going to be throwing the ball for 50-yard bombs or nothing like that. But like I said, a pounding rushing attack, a good receiving core, and a very good defense. We'll see what the 49ers can do against the Cowboys. And speaking of Cowboys, let's get to them now, what they can do to ensure a victory this upcoming week. Dak Prescott, we all know, is the man of the hour, the guy up front, the main quarterback, threw for 449 yards, looking good there. 68% completion percentage, almost 69. 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and he was sacked 30 times. So they're pretty similar when it comes to sack. Garoppolo was sacked one less. As for the rushing attack, we all know Ezekiel Elliott is right there. Barely got over the 1,000-yard marker this season, but he did do it on a 4.2 average per run. He had a total of 10 touchdowns on the year, so not too bad on coming back. Tony Pollard, the backup, 719 rushing yards also. 2 touchdowns for him, so looking good. And he averaged 5.5 run per run. So they got a good rushing attack. Or Dak can also run it as well. He ran for a little bit under 200 yards this season, but if need be, he can scramble if he needs to. Now for the receiving core, we know they're missing Michael Gallup, man. That was just a punch in the gut for the Cowboys Nation. They heard he was going to be out. But they're lucky they have more great receivers to step up. CeeDee Lamb, of course, 120 targets this year, had 79 catches, eclipsed 1,102 yards in total, 13.9 average per catch, 6 touchdowns for the young man. Also, Amari Cooper right there. He had 8 touchdowns, 865 yards on 68 catches. The tight end, Dalton Schultz, gets some love too. 78 catches on the year, second on the team, right behind CD. 808 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns for him. And, of course, Cedric Wilson, a guy who's really had to step up with Gallup being out, 602 yards, 6 touchdowns on the year for him, and a 13.4 average per catch right there. So they have a good core right there with those 4 or 5 guys I just listed. And they've really helped out. And I think that they're going to have a really good explosive game this upcoming weekend. Now, as for the defense, man, this is the defense that people – they strike fear into the opposing hearts of their other teams. Let's go ahead. Jerron Kearse leads the team in tackles with 101. Micah Parsons leads the team in sacks with 13. He had 84 tackles in the year, so watch out for him to have a big game in his first playoff game. Randy Gregory right there in the D-line with 6 tackles. Durant Armstrong with 5. Basham with 3.5. DeMarcus Lawrence with 3. So we all know they have a very good defensive line. Van Der Esch, their linebacker, had a solid year with 77 tackles. And, they're just a very good team. Keanu Neal, 72. And I really like the way this Cowboys defense is set up with Dan Quinn, of course. Watch out. Jordan Lewis has 11 passes defended for 3 INTs this year. And also Jerron Kearse has 10 passes defended for 2 picks on the season. As a team, they finished with 84 passes defended and 26 interceptions. Of course, I had saved them for last, right? I had to. Trayvon Diggs, the star cornerback, 21 passes defended, 11 interceptions, what a year that young man had. Anthony Brown also, I mean, we all know the love was right there with Trayvon, but Anthony Brown also had a very good year. 17 passes defended for him and 3 interceptions. So that secondary for the Cowboys against the wide receiving core for the 49ers is going to be the big key, right? Is how many sacks are these guys going to give up? How's the O-line for the 49ers going to handle the rushing attack for the Cowboys? Because like I said, Micah Parsons he's got 13 sacks on the year. Gregory has 6. Armstrong has 5. So they're going to get to the quarterback one way or another. And I expect this to be a good game. I think this is going to be a pretty fun game to watch. And if you're the 49ers, I think they got to get a little bit creative, right? Because we don't know how good Jimmy's thumb is, and we'll have to see what they can do to combat that stifling Cowboys offense. But if I had to go with a final score in this one, I'll go with the Dallas Cowboys 31, and I'll go with the San Francisco 49ers 17. I just think the Cowboys are just a little bit better. Their roster's better. I think the defense is really going to play a big part. And I think Dak Prescott, he's been up and down this year, right? He's had games where he looks like his old self, and then he's had games where he's kind of struggled. But I think he's going to have a good game in the first playoff game here this season for the Cowboys. So, like I said, I got the Cowboys getting the win in this one. Please drop a comment. Who do you think will win this game, and who will be your MVP of the game? I'd love to hear it, and all discussions we like to have here on the show. So if you guys enjoyed this NFL playoff game preview between the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys, first off, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Like I said, we go live each and every week on Facebook and on YouTube. Please go check out our Instagram. We have clips of each and every show. And if you haven't done so already, please go and check out the podcast over on Spotify, any major podcast streaming platform, Apple Podcasts, Google Music, Amazon Music, Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, whatever you can think of, right? Whatever, if you use some podcast platform that you love and it's independent and it's small, I can guarantee we're pretty much on there. But if not, please let us know. Like I said, we have podcasts over 600 available to listen to right now. A lot of evergreen content, which just means it's a fancy term for saying that you can go back and watch it anytime and it still has great value. I'm talking about amazing history specials, legends interviews, guys who have won Super Bowl, NCAA championships, played in the NFL for quite a long time, played in college, had a stellar career there. History specials with some of the game's greatest players, greatest teams, amazing draft prospects. We've been doing draft prospects earlier than I'm sure a lot of other organizations and a lot of members of the media have. We've been doing a ton of great draft prospects, recruiting specials as well. So anything and everything football related, you can find it over at the podcast and on our streaming platforms on Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I've been your host this morning, Logan Landers, and stay tuned because we have some more amazing live content coming up for you in just a little bit. We'll see you soon.